You've spent years inside a family system that never made room for who you really were. Narcissistic parents often assign roles such as the scapegoat, golden child, caretaker, that feel impossible to shed, even as adults. The narcissistic family's emotional field trained you to confuse emotional reactivity with being authentic, while never letting you develop the inner boundaries that protect who you truly are. What feels like your personality is often the family super self, a false self built by the system to keep you trapped. In this video, I want to explore the top ways narcissistic and dysfunctional parents trained you to never be your true self, and why the key to freedom lies in reclaiming those lost boundaries and that lost self. Let me count them down for you. Number 9, narcissistic parents installed systems guilt, systems shame, and systems anxiety as your emotional operating system. You weren't just taught what to feel, you were wired to feel feelings that were never yours and that functioned to serve the family system, not the real you. Now, even the thought of choosing yourself can trigger guilt or shame because you were trained to treat selfhood as a betrayal of the parents or a betrayal of the family. Have you ever thought while feeling shame or guilt, I didn't do anything wrong? Why did they take it the wrong way? Or why did they take it so personally? Or even ask yourself, why am I feeling guilty right now? This is really crazy. Often we have allowed narcissistic parents to dictate the meaning and interpretation of our actions. I asked my mother to not discuss certain topics with me because I wanted those to be out of bounds and not discussable, because I knew we could not discuss them in a way that was going to be healthy, rational, mature, etc. And that we disagreed on them and that we were not going to soon come together on it. But I am your mother, she might say, or I don't know why you have to be so mean. Then I would feel guilt and shame for setting a boundary. I learned to detach and realize that is her reality, and this is my reality. I did nothing wrong, and guilt and shame is not an appropriate feeling for me to be feeling or to accept. It's important to note, just because someone feels hurt by you or someone dislikes your boundaries or choices does not mean you have done anything inappropriate. Always consider the source. Number 8, narcissistic parents never let you learn who you are without them and without their dysfunction. Your identity was built around managing your parents' and family's moods, pleasing them, or surviving them. And this is what I call the family emotional field. Their moods, what rules are applying, what kind of awareness you have about love, relationships, and how you treat other people, all is a mixture in this cake batter of the family emotional field. The family's wiring still lives inside you. So when the emotional Wi-Fi goes silent, you may feel lost, as if your role was your identity. All dysfunctional families operate an out of enmeshment. To find and to be our true selves, we must learn to detach and to self-differentiate so we can learn who we are apart from our family dynamics and the family toxicity. And in fact, many people will argue and say, but what about those parents who abandoned us? What about the father who was so detached and all caught up in his work? I realize that feels very distant rather than feeling fused. But usually the cause of that distancing is truly what's underneath it, which is enmeshment from previous generations. That's why someone moves away from someone, or why someone has a hard time attaching in a healthy way to someone. Number 7, narcissistic parents modeled dysfunction as normal and made you believe it was the real you. Emotional chaos, denial, or control became the emotional Wi-Fi you absorbed. Now you may mistake anxiety, overfunctioning, or walking on eggshells as just, that's how life is. I call this learning the malignant normalcy. And we do learn to accept what is abnormal as being normal. No different than if someone has been abused, they find themselves in abusive relationships as adults. Not because they want it, not because they liked it, not because they couldn't remember what happened in their family of origin. It's just somewhat allowable in their paradigm of subjectivity. It's just what mean people do. And so there's a malignant normalcy about it. Number 6, narcissistic parents made you responsible for their feelings. You learn to monitor your parents' every feeling shift. Are they upset? Is it my fault? Are they angry? Do they feel hurt? Are they worried? As an adult, you still take responsibility for other people's emotions because you were trained that your safety and approval depended on it. This is what I consider and call being other-focused. Being other-focused is so important for growing up in a narcissist home. It's a real challenge to turn the ocean liner and begin to shift from other-focused to self-focused. And that's one of the things I teach and train in the program Road to Self. Number 5, narcissistic parents punished separateness and rewarded sameness. When you agreed, conformed, stayed small, lived in the parent's background, denied your individuality, you were loved. And I say loved in air quotes. When you questioned, asserted, or changed in some way, you were chastised, criticized, shamed, or even punished. That early pattern taught you sameness equals safety, and being yourself equals rejection. But then as we begin to recover, we realize that that safety was really an illusion, and that the acceptance and love was only conditional, and that approval was very short-lived. Number 4, narcissistic parents assigned you a role, and you still play it. Scapegoat, golden child, lost child, fixer, overfunctioner, underfunctioner, black sheep, the worrier, the unhealthy one. You were cast in a role that served the system. And unless you self-differentiate, you'll keep playing it everywhere in your life. With your family, your spouse, your work, friendships, and even in your own parenting. Roles are insidious. They are secretly harmful when we are living through them. These roles are a part of what I call the pseudo-self. It's not the real self, it's the self you took on from your family's super self. For daily reminders on how to be your real self and get the family dysfunction out of you, I share simple tips on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Feel free to join those communities anytime. Number 3, narcissistic parents trained you to confuse reactivity with authenticity. Have you ever been upset with someone and got angry and were very reactive with them? And it just seemed like the right thing to do. But again, we have been taught to confuse reactivity with authenticity. You were never taught how to feel a feeling without becoming the feeling. Now, reacting feels real, while calmness feels fake, weak, like a pseudo-self, or passive, because emotional intensity was modeled as identity. And it may just be internal intensity that you have now. Maybe you don't act it out in ways people can see it because your family did and you decided, I'm not going to do that. But the problem is that emotional internal intensity is expressed internally even through adulthood. Number 2, narcissistic parents never allowed you to have inner boundaries. Whenever I say inner boundaries, think detachment, think I'm not you, you're not me, think I have my own reality, you have your reality. Because not having those inner boundaries, it sets you up for not having boundaries at all. And we know from research and other places, external boundaries don't work well when there's not internal detachment, sense of self, self-confidence, and inner boundaries. You weren't allowed to own your own experience. With narcissistic parents, everything, your time, your feelings, your truth, was up for negotiation, judgment, and challenge. So now boundaries feel cruel or foreign when they're actually the birthplace of the self. And lastly, number 1, narcissistic parents replaced yourself with the family super self. The family's needs, emotions, and rules replaced your own inner compass. Your inner compass or your inner GPS is never valued with the narcissistic parent. Until you extract that programming, you'll keep mistaking the super self for your real self and stay stuck in their story instead of living your own. If you're ready to finally break free and start living with emotional freedom, inner peace, healthy relationships, then join my free 84-minute training. Over 30,000 people have already joined. Click the link in the description and access the free training now. And if you're looking for a deeper step-by-step process, join my Road to Self program. Many of those who have joined the Road to Self say it was the missing piece in their healing journey, and that it helped them get their family out of them and finally stand strong as their true self. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll never miss a new video. I want to thank you for watching. Have a great day and be wise.